Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. As you can see, I've managed to get myself one of these beautiful 3D puzzles. As you can see, this poor little thing is not looking so good. It's quite broken and it needs quite a lot of repair. So I'm going to be repairing it so that it can be placed on my diorama. I'm actually going to be modifying it and putting a few extra pieces here and there, which hopefully will make it look a little bit better than it's looking at the moment. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be removing all the roofing so that I can see what lies underneath it. And by the looks of things, it's quite easy to just take off, so they come off in little pieces like that. And they're all attached with little pieces of wood underneath them. Going around the side, there's lots of pieces there that I'd like to cut off and glue it all together. Even though it's a no glue puzzle, I'm going to be gluing it. I'm pulling the whole puzzle apart now so that I can start painting all the pieces that I want to paint. So that's what it's looking like at the moment. I've managed to get some of the pieces off. Unfortunately, a lot of the pieces are actually glued on, so I'm not going to be able to do all the work that I wanted to do on it. I'm very limited to what I can do. But what I've done now is I've just painted the inside of the courtyard all red, and on the entrances I've painted the doorways red as well. I've removed part of the roofing and now I've just painted it with Mars black. So this little piece is one of the pieces that goes right on the top here. So when I take it off, it's that piece, and I'm just using Mars black to paint it all. And now I've painted all the entrances in Mars black. And the passageways I'm going to be doing in a light grey. And the front doorway, where it's got the vacant spots over here, I'm going to be painting those vacant spots in black on this one and that one, and the reverse on the other side and on this side as well. So what I've done now is I've taped off this small area here because I'm going to be working on the bricks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my scalpel and I'm going to cut out little grooves where all the little bricks are, and then we're going to paint that with a watered down solution of grey paint. So as you can see, the paint is really thin, and I'm just going to paint that on and hopefully it'll go into the grooves. I'm just wiping off the excess so that I can push it into the grooves. So there it is, all dry now. Very happy with the results. I'll bring it a little bit closer so you can have a look and see if I can get it in focus. So now to paint the flower beds, I'm just going to be using raw amber. Well, they're not actually flower beds, they're more like pebble beds. So I'm just using some raw amber to put down. And just paint the rest of them. The paint is dry on my stone beds and I'm going to be using these beads. They're very small, tiny beads, which I'm going to be cutting open and then gluing into this part here, which we painted the brown. I'm just going to be gluing the beads on with this Bondcrete, which is a woodworking adhesive. To keep the beads contained, I've got this really thin wire, which is a 7mm wire. It's just a fencing wire, and what I've done is I've buckled into like little L shapes like this so that they can go around each flower bed. And that should keep the beads in position. So all the beads are in place now. I'm going to put that aside to dry. So instead of drilling through my diorama, I've decided to modify the lights. All set up. I've got some EVA foam, which is just an old yoga mat, and what I've done, I'm taking the small pieces off the roofing and then placing them onto the EVA foam and then cutting them and scoring grooves in them like this. Then I take the heat gun and heat it up to split the grooves apart, and then you've got something that looks like that. So I'm doing that with all the pieces on the roofing. I'm going to be gluing the little roof pieces that I've made onto the actual wooden pieces. So now I've placed them all into a little box, and I'm going to be using this spray fix contact adhesive to glue them all together. Now when you're putting them in the box, make sure that you've got the sides that are going to be glued facing upward so that they can all get a coat of glue on them. Try and do the spraying of the glue outside because it has got quite a strong smell. All around the outside of the walls, they've got these grooves here for the puzzles to slot into. Now because I don't want the grooves here, what I'm doing is I'm taking some EVA foam and I'm just marking off the little bricks so that I can cut this piece out and place it over here so that you don't see the grooves for the puzzle pieces. So I've cut the little piece out and you can see it covers that quite nicely. And so that I can get a really nice contrast, I'm having this bottom part grey and then I'm going to paint everything white. I've got these really small little gold beads. They've got little roses on them, and then you're going to take a piece of jewellery wire. It's the ones that you use to make earrings, and then thread a piece of red thread through the bead so that you've got a little piece that then looks like that. So you've got a little lantern for the front doors. Once you've finished doing that, and now we just tidy it up a little bit and by cutting the top part off, just remove all that, and there you have your little decoration for the front door or for any of the doors. I'm going to be cutting down my little lanterns so that the wire is 1 centimetre on all of them so that they all hang at the same height. I'm going to be attaching the little lanterns and I'm just going to be using this gel control super glue. So as you can see, I've placed all the little lanterns. Let's do that. So now I'm going to be putting in some of the plants I made. So we've got this little one. The next lot of plants that we're going to be putting in, or pot plants, are the ones that are going to be going in this small little courtyard over here. And the ones that we're using are these tiny ones. Maybe placing in each corner. I'm not going to be placing the plants in the interior of the building. Unfortunately, I can't get my camera to get in this close so that you can see what I'm actually doing. but I am going to be planting these tiny little plants in the corners of the main building. Now I'm going to be placing these ones on the front entrance, not the main entrance, but this entrance just over here, so on the sides. And these are the ones that we've used at the front entrance. And now we're going to be putting some in this section over here. Now we're going to put the fountain in. And I've got some small little pieces of wood like this, which are supposed to be foo-foo dogs, which I'm going to transform into foo-foo dogs. So I've put some of these little stickers onto both sides, and then I'm going to try and form them into foo-foo dogs. And there at the entrance we have our foo-foo dogs. So my diorama is finished now. I'll just give you a closer look at what it looks like. So going further down, so you can see the plants in the above, the courtyard. With all the lights on. If you found this video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.